I think they're trying to keep us distracted. It's free to pay attention. Yeah.
Don't be distracted by the beams that people put into play. Instead, focus on the freedoms people tearing away. It's all confusion. They turning UFOs into UAPs. To test the public on the subject, change the mood and see how we react. Knowing we've been visited back before Egyptians stacked stones with exact mathematical dimensions with attention to match. Before the days of Pangea when the continent cracked. Stupid humans just been covering tracks. Earth is just a puddle in the sea of what's been attached. I know a couple hybrids living on the planet. In fact, they might be living next to you. You ever think about that? Be the vibe. If you're feeling lost, tune to the tone. You might be living in a dome, but we're never alone. Send a rocket to the moon, let it curve on its own. It's a distraction.
But that's all that I can see on this phone.
We're caught up in a blue beam, distracted by design, while shooting down illusions, indoctrinating minds. They wanna see us faded, to put us back in line. The people have awoken and see right through the lies. It's all a distraction. It's a part of the game that we play. They don't need a reaction. Don't you give them the strength, meditate. It's all a distraction. But the people are finding a way to take positive action and spread truth to the ones that
Hidden
relate.
right in plain view, blueprint has been laid out. Played rat in the maze, getting stuck in the same route. Lost, feeling exhausted, breaking the frame down. So breathe, raise your vibration and phase out. Resonant, every thought's related to fate. And they don't want to let you know that you decide to be great. Who's that? Good question, start checking your mate. They play chess, not checkers. In the darkness they wait. Peep the games that they playing. Using holograms till they got the praying. And that's all that I'm saying. Project Bluebeam and the plans that they laying get me hotter than the flames that surround Super Saiyans. God-like, like the godson that be star bright. Living in the fractal, speaking to evolve like an oceanic alien. The no more is on sight. Reminding you to never get distracted.
The Codega is a guide and a storyteller, escorting you through the night, lighting the way, warding off thieves, ghosts, demons, and other oddities. Along the journey, his companions would often share with him the most curious of stories that he'd record in his Codex. Perhaps you just might find yourself traveling with the Codega and sharing one of yours. Hey everyone, welcome to another live event with me, Rye the Codega. And tonight I got my good friend Matt Emch from Planet 412 joining me. And we're going to do what I did last time, where we do a 3 stories, 2 true, 1 false. And it's up to you guys in the chat to figure out which one is real, which one isn't. And so I've got my own 3. Matt has his own 3. I haven't heard Matt's and he hasn't heard mine. So we're kind of got that separate as well. And so what am I waiting for? Let's bring Matt to the stage. Matt, welcome as always to, I was going to say Planet 412, but I'm like, welcome to Codex and Curiosities.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm honored.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was supposed to have a interview tonight with another guest that I do because I always just pre-record on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't really have planned lives. I know you've got things much more organized where you have your live events planned, but for me, it's kind of last minute. My guest was suffering from vertigo, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm not upset at him. Like I totally understand, but I'm like, what do I do? Then I'm like, do a live and message you up and you are game. So here we are. I'm looking forward to this. And like I said, it's going to be the 3 stories, 2 truths, 1 lie, and our audience gets to figure out which is which. So Matt, what is new and exciting on way over on Planet 412?
Well, you know, I'm doing the new format with the live streams, reviewing things, strange, mysterious, cryptid, ghostly videos, and Kel's a new member. Awesome.
Hi, there we go. Thanks, Kel.
Kel's a great person, always jumping in mine.
Fantastic.
You'll enjoy being part of Rise. And, you know, you and I talk about it. I have a tendency, because I get so busy with everything, to procrastinate sometimes on my stuff. So a lot of stuff is right there, ready to start flowing out. I keep
Yeah.
saying it, but trust me, it's about to pop. So I'm
It's
excited.
right there. I know you're like, I'm almost, you're like, what'd you say? Like I'm, I'm backed up or I'm, falling behind, but you're like, not for long, not for
Well,
long.
you know how it is when you have a channel, and then you have, I have two different things I'm doing on YouTube. I have my
Yeah.
football part of my life. It mixes, and it gets really busy, and it gets really tough. And I'm gonna get that stuff out. I've been promising everybody, and it's coming, man. I am ready to roll. So no more of that.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, no problem, man. We are busy, like this is almost a full-time job unto itself. I don't want to say it's full-time because it's but it's a lot of work. The amount of time and effort we put into it, it's a lot of work.
I was
And
just gonna say, with and people don't understand that are not creators. When you're doing like what I do, storytelling and narrations, and you're using graphics and stuff like that, that is the hardest part of it. That's the one part, like, it's like my bane, because it takes a long time. My good friend Carol Ann.
someone keeps asking me, dude, can you do my my B-roll?
Yeah, I wonder
I
who
know
that
that
is.
is asking me, but I'm like, dude,
He's
I'm packed
busy.
as well. It's not like I wouldn't want to. I am busy as well. But yeah, and I agree with you. It is like to do all that, it's a lot of editing. Like this part of it, like just talking and speaking, this is the easy part.
Yeah,
This
it
is the
is.
fun part.
The
Uh,
lives are simple,
yeah.
but I might actually have. I've been saying my greatest day will be when I have an editor. I might have somebody that could be help me out a little bit. So that will be a great day for me in Planet 412. So that is just what takes the longest. And
It
my
really
good
is.
friend Carol Ann from the In Between, her and I were talking, and Stacy asked her one night, she's like, Matt takes so long on the graphics and the video and stuff. She's like, does that take you long? And she's like, oh my God, that's the worst. That's what takes me the longest. And
Yeah.
we're perfectionists, so you want it to look good.
That's exactly it. You don't want to throw out like there are times when I've thrown out a video and I've pulled it off. Like it's the rendering part as well that takes so long. Like you do all your edits and then you render. And for me, like when I'm doing it on my computer, sometimes it can take anywhere between 4 to 8 hours for rendering the video. And and of course I'm not working, but I have to sit and wait. But if I make a mistake, those 4 to 8 hours that I just let it doing its thing on my computer are garbage. I gotta delete it,
Hmm.
do it again. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy. Don't get me wrong, people. I love it. I enjoy it. It is fun. I do enjoy it, but it's time consuming. It's time consuming, and
it
trying to find the
is.
right picture or the right video. It just
Lyson had a question for me. He said, he wants to know when I'm going to be releasing the uh, footage and video from the steel mill. That is one of the
yeah.
things I'm working on right now. This weekend, you'll get a short on it teasing you about I have that done. I was going to release it last night, but I wanted to keep the live stream separate. I wanted to get everybody with their mouth watering for the big one that's coming. And there's some juicy, juicy stuff from what happened that night. So there it is right there. I can't hear you. Oh, now
There.
I can.
Okay. Yeah. I adjusted my mic and it kind of played with my cable there. But Lyson was saying as well, you guys have a PC. I'm editing on my phone, and for the
Yeah.
it makes it I don't even want to think about that, Lyson.
That's
That is
how I started.
oh
That's how
yeah.
Balin started. He
Wow. Yeah.
used his
I guess
phone. Yeah.
I had a very crappy computer that my battery was blowing up on me, and I went with it, and then it wrecked my keyboard. It it wrecked a lot of things, but I was able, like, I actually pulled the battery out. So my laptop had to be plugged in 24/7, but that is kind of what I did as well.
That's what mine was, that my first laptop too, the battery never would charge. I had to keep it plugged in. And of course the GPUs and everything was just low. So when I finally moved to
go ahead. Sorry, Matt.
I was just saying, when I moved to the one I have now, things really started to change. But now that one is not sufficient for what I need to do. So I'm trying to save up, which a lot of my members have been very generous. They've made donations and live streams, and it's adding up. It's starting to get there. But, you know, those things are really expensive. But when I do, oh, man, it will help.
I can imagine. You know, what I got right now is it's good enough right now. I'm like, yep, this is doing what it'll do. But yeah, there's always room for improvement. But as it stands right now, I'm like, no, it'll do what I need it to do. But enough of us chit-chatting about that. Matt, we're gonna be doing that two truths, one lie tonight. Mm-hmm. Would you want to go first?
Sure. That's what I'm bringing up right now.
Fantastic. So for those who are just coming in, what we're going to start the night off with is 2 sessions of 2 truths, 1 lie, and it's up to you guys. Hey, Josh, and hey, everyone. You know, I miss saying hi. You know, BJ, Fox, Josh. Who else is there? Logan, Kel, Owl, Lyson.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, hello.
Raw Conscious Talk, Tammy, of course, Katrina. Who else? If I missed you, just throw up a message, be like, hey, I'm here, I'm just listening, so I don't give you guys all a shout out. Hey, Heather as well. So we are starting the 2 truths, 1 lie, and it's up to, so Matt's going to read them, and I want you guys to think about which one is the lie, which ones are the truth, and then you guys are going to pick it. So after he's done, we're going to have a discussion about why we think which is which. Okay, so let's do this. Matt, give her a roll.
All right, this is called the Lizard of the Colorado Waters. Now let me take you to the Colorado Rockies, deep in the mountains, far from any roads, far from civilization. 3 men hike out for a summer camping trip in 1992. They set up camp beside a rushing stream that feeds into a dark mountain lake. For 2 nights, it's peaceful, just stars, firelight, and the sound of water. But on the 3rd night, things change. As they sit down by the fire, they hear splashing. Heavy movements in the stream. At first, they think it's a big fish, maybe an elk crossing. But then they see them, 2 glowing green eyes just above the surface, staring directly at their camp. When they shine their flashlights, the eyes vanish, only to reappear further down the bank. The men try to shake it off, but later that night, the forest explodes with sounds, and they have never heard these before. High-pitched shrieks mixed with deep reptilian hisses, like something primal, something not of this world. And then it happens, their camp is hit. Something large crashes through the tent, tearing at the fabric, scattering their gear. One of the men screams he's been slashed across the arm by something sharp, leaving deep bleeding gashes. They light flares, they yell, and just suddenly as it came, the creature retreats. They hear a long guttural hiss echoing across the water as it disappears. In the morning, they leave everything behind. They carry off their injured friend. To this day, they don't talk about it. They didn't want to give their names. They wanted to stay anonymous. But the whispers still spread about a reptilian creature that haunts the remote waters of Colorado. So what do you guys think? Was it fear and imagination, or was it really something there in those dark mountain lakes?
Interesting story.
Now, we know of the lizard down in South Carolina, that one story where the young man was changing his tire. I forget what part of South Carolina that was. It was in the newspapers. He was changing his tire, heard something behind him, turned around, and there was a reptile on two legs, bipedal, started to chase him. He jumped in his car, took off. This thing jumped on the top of his car, and he shook it off and hit the brakes. It came down, rolled off, and he left. Called the police. It was in the papers. The police gave him a lie detector test. He passed. So, there's these stories of reptilian creatures out there. And of course, you get into the, conspiracies of reptilian shape changers that have made their way into government and important positions all over the world. So what do you guys think? You think it's real, or do you think that's a faker?
That was a fake. Who knows? And like when you're speaking of this, Matt, I just dropped Rebecca Keating's interview last week, where she came face to face with a reptilian, and this reptilian changed in front of her and hissed at her, sticking out its tongue at her. This is at a movie theater, and she was like, "What the heck?" So they're out there. They're out there. Yeah. All right. So are you going to read your next two then?
Sure. So let me.
Yeah. No problem. No problem. I know Josh is rooting for the Colorado ones to be true, because we were fooling him last time. So we're going to see if we can get him fooled this time. The last time we read a Colorado one and it was true, and he didn't believe it.
Okay. This one is the police files, the Hopkinsville encounter. On the night of August 21st, 1955, a bizarre and terrifying event unfolded near Hopkinsville, Kentucky. A family by the name of Sutton, along with several friends, rushed into the Hopkinsville police station in an absolute panic, claiming that small, glowing-eyed creatures were surrounding their farmhouse and trying to get inside. Now, normally police would dismiss such claims as drunken hysteria, but what made this story different is several officers, including the sheriff, went out to the property to investigate, and they did indeed find they filed official reports. When they arrived, they found bullet holes through windows, gun casings scattered everywhere, and genuine fear in the faces of every witness there. The family swore they had been under siege by little men that glowed in the dark with large hands and strange movements. Some reports describe them as having pointed ears and oversized eyes that reflected like a wild animal when struck with light. The officers didn't find bodies, but they confirmed strange lights in the sky, odd scratches on the farmhouse, and something unexplainable about the atmosphere that night. The case was written up not just in local police files, but also in multiple newspaper articles the next morning. To this day, skeptics chalk it up to owls or hysteria, while others point to the consistency of police reports and newspaper coverage as proof something extraordinary happened. So what do you guys think? Was it all a case of misidentification, or did a group of Kentucky police officers really help document one of the strangest cryptid encounters in American history? Is that real? Did it happen? Or
that one for me sounds more real. For me, I'm like little men running around. It sounds more real than the reptilian. I'm not saying the reptilians aren't real, but I'm just saying the story itself. That one to me sounds more real.
Hey, could you do me a favor and do the next one?
Yeah.
I put that one in a different file. I need to find that.
Okay. So so we were going to do your three though, and then we're going to do my three.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay. We can give me a sec here.
Yeah. No problem. We can have a chit chat. Everybody can chit chat. So Lyson was also wondering if we're going to do any reaction videos tonight. I didn't have any ready. If Lyson wants to send them, we can go through them. That
sure.
is okay. Not a problem.
I haven't seen Lyson's usually a really big part of my live streams for the reviews. I haven't seen him lately. I'm
Are you
curious
calling
where
him
he's
out? Are
been.
you calling Lyson out? Like, where are you,
I'm
Lyson?
just curious. I asked him, "Where you been, man?" I notice I love Lyson when he's
Yeah.
I always notice him. He's a great part of Planet 412. I was like, man, is he sick? Is something going on? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to put him on the spot or embarrass him. I just was legitimately like worried if something happened.
Logan was asking, you said the police saw it? No, I don't think the police saw it, but the police
They did not.
Police didn't see it, but they reported that there was strange occurrences happening. Hey, Carol. Good to see
Hi,
Carol in
Carol.
the chat now. Yes. So that's interesting. Interesting. I'm also going to bring up, I do want to talk about, because I was talking to Matt earlier today about 3-Eye Atlas, okay? The comet or whatever that is that's coming in. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on. I wanted to talk about it last live stream, 2 live streams ago when I was with Brad from the Awaken podcast, and we kind of got sidetracked. We're like, that's not real. I have a different take on it. I was talking with the amazing Gary Wayne. So if you guys know who Gary Wayne is, he's the author of Genesis 6 Conspiracy Theory, Genesis 6 Conspiracy. He had a great take on it. And so I'm not really claiming this as my information, but I'm passing it on because it's pretty interesting.
I found it, so I'm ready.
Excellent. Okay, so here comes Matt's last story. Let's jump into it.
All right, this one is called The Thing in the Fog. There's a stretch of back road in the Appalachian foothills, not far from where Kentucky and West Virginia meet, that locals don't like to talk about. They call it the Fog Road because almost every night, even in the middle of summer, a heavy mist rolls down from the hills and settles over the 2-lane highway. The story goes that one fall evening, a man driving home from a late shift spotted something moving in the fog ahead. At first, just a shape crossing the road. He slowed down, thinking it was a deer, but as his headlights cut through the mist, he saw that it wasn't walking on 4 legs at all. The figure was tall, too tall, its skin pale and gray, and its arms hung far lower than any human should. It turned its head toward the car, and for a split second, he swears he saw glowing faintly like embers in a dying fire. Terrifying, he slammed the gas, but as he drove past, his car jolted like something had slapped the back fender with tremendous force. When he finally pulled into his driveway, shaken and pale, he found 3 long scratches gouged into the paint across the trunk. He never went back down the road after the dark. Over the years, other drivers have claimed similar things: glowing eyes in the fog, figures standing at the roadside, even the sound of something running alongside their cars. No police reports, no news stories, just whispered accounts traded among locals, always ending with the same warning: don't stop if you see something moving in the fog. So what do you guys think? Just a scary tale told to keep people off lonely back roads at night? Or is there really something out there waiting in the mist?
I love that story. It's kind of like a cross between like a Wendigo or not a deer. Whatever that thing was. I have an idea. I have an idea of which one I think. So you guys in the chat, what are you thinking? Which one is the fake? Which 2 are the real? All right. So Josh is saying, "Oh hell no." So Josh, it seems like something true, but who knows? Yeah, Logan, myself, I believe it's the 3rd one. I think the 3rd one's the fake one.
Okay.
The other 2, as much as that first one kind of seemed a little too narrated, maybe, I don't know. I'm like,
well, I am a storyteller on my channel.
You are a storyteller, yes,
Yeah.
and that is how every one of them, and I like that because everyone is a narration of it. So I like that you did that. So that is cool. So Josh is saying, Fox is saying 1 and 3 are real. So Fox says number 2. Fox says the little men is fake. Josh is saying number 3 is fake. Oh, so Carol missed the other 2. So Carol is saying, cool story. Could be real. Kel says true, false, true. So Kel is saying that the second one is false, and Logan says he agrees with me
BJ should know which one is true.
I think number 1 is real. I like that one. Yeah, but BJ, okay, that's one. You got to pick one more that's real, BJ.
Yeah, there's 2 that are
so let's
true.
just wait till BJ chimes in before we jump and Matt reveals the truth or the false. I think that would be it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I like this. I like this a lot because it's
absolutely
a fun game. Oh, the little people goblin story. Do you think that's fake or do you think that's true? Sorry, which do you think?
I think she's saying number 1 and number 2 are real.
I think she's saying number 1 and number 3 are real, and number 2 is the fake one. I don't.
Beach.
See, true. Okay, she's saying number 2 is true, so she thinks number 3 is fake. Okay, so Matt, please reveal the faker.
The fake one is number 1.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. I was going with number 1, but then I switched. Yeah. So who picked? So BJ said number 1 is real.
Number 2, absolutely real. BJ, of course, should know that is a story connected to what's happening in Hellfire, Kentucky, and when we go to Hellfire, Kentucky. So 100% true. There are police reports. It's been on the news. It's one of the most well-known real events. Happened in 1952, and I'm surprised not many people caught that one.
And that is the little people one? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That one I knew was real, and it sounds fascinating. It sounds extremely interesting.
Oh yeah, connects to what we're doing. Like I said, in October, when me, BJ, David Wolf, and Carol Ann from the In Between, and a group of other people who are going to be behind the scenes doing things, camera work and things. They're coming. It's turned into a big event. There's like 12 people.
It's going to be like a camp out. You guys are going to have a big old cookout.
We're going to be there for 2 days. We're hoping that we can, it's not a secret. We're hoping we can get together like a town hall so people can let us know, where they've had events happen and where we should go. And so I've reached out to the mayor of Pikesville, which is the main area that includes the little town of Hellfire. So it'll be really, really awesome. And yeah, David is from Exposing the Strange, ETS. It's going to be a really kick-ass trip.
Cool. That sounds... See, that's what I'm like, crap, what? I'm in Mexico and it's so far away. The flights are too expensive. Yeah.
I'm going to be coming there. So and I've said this before, and I'll never say to my subscribers or I like to call them my Planet 412 family. Oh, Sugi, that's awesome.
Thanks, Sugi. That's awesome. Yeah.
When I do this more, when people visit places, what starts to happen is, the fans of the show, people that are part of the channel start to say, we want you to go here. We're going to help you guys do it. And, because it's expensive doing those trips. We're going to be paying for everything. I will want to come to Mexico in the future and you and I do something there. So for sure.
Yes. I have a lot of places we can go. Speaking of which, I am actually taking an actual vacation. I haven't taken a vacation in quite a while. I'm taking a vacation and I'm going to Palenque. And people are like, what's Palenque? But if anybody knows the Mayan astronaut, the glyph of the Mayan astronaut, that is where I'm going. So
wow.
I'm gonna make sure my camera is charged up. My phone my camera battery is charged up. Make sure the SD card is clear. So I don't have a good video camera, and my cell phone is okay. I'll do my best to take some videos. But if I can take some good pictures with my good camera, I'll be definitely putting them up. So
Wow,
what's the
that'll be
vacation?
awesome. Yeah,
I think
so
last
cool.
weekend I took
So,
this,
yeah, the one where he's in the picture, he's kind of upside down, looking up.
that's
That one, yeah.
exactly that is it. Yeah. So the one where he's upside down, it looks like maybe he's in a rocket ship. That's where I'm going.
Mhm.
Also, in that same location, there is what's called the Red Queen. So I'm going to be going there as well, and I'm excited to go there. I've been there once before, so it's not like this is new for me, but I'm looking forward to it as well. All right, so I'm going to jump to my 3 stories. So I liked how Matt did his own take, because Matt is a storyteller, and what I'm going to do is I am telling them from the people's point of view. So the first one, because I'm in Mexico, some of these will have a Mexican flair. This one is
Nice.
called Hombre Lobo, which, if you speak Spanish, or even if you don't, you'll figure it out. It's Wolfman. So in Mexico, at my mother's old house, she sent my younger brother, cousin, and me to go close the gate and turn off the lights. Mind you, to get there, we had to cross about 200 yards of unlit grassland. About 50 yards in, we all heard rustling and smelled an odor that we could only describe as blood mixed with the stench of wet dog. There were folk tales of hombres lobos, wolfmen, who were cursed to wander the old ranch by a black witch who used them for pagan rituals. The witch was eventually ousted and tortured by the locals, and supposedly, after the local priest spoke to her in Latin, she transformed into what they said was a writhing mass of rats and snakes. These wolfmen were said to be immortal, and the only object that could deter them was Spanish silver. My cousin, being the alpha that he was, straight up bolted. Literally, all we saw were his tennis shoes going 1,000 miles per hour as he screamed in terror. My brother and I, my brother and I, being naive Tejanos, and on our first visit to my mother's ranch, kept walking. Those wolfmen were said to have been cannibals while they were still human, some 75 years ago. Remember, this is rural Mexico, where the rule of law is practically non-existent. As we entered the gates, we both saw what, in my logical mind, had to be a mangled wolf-dog hybrid. It dashed from one room into the ruins of the old adobe kitchen where my grandparents' servants used to cook. Then we heard glass shattering, and blood-curdling scream. The kind of sound I'd only heard once before when my brother stepped on a nail years ago. That was enough. We both started crying and yelling hysterically, sprinting in an adrenaline-fueled panic back to my cousin's house. My mother, father, and baby brother just stared at us, confused as to why we were crying. My cousin was still in shock, silent, his eyes wide and fixed in a vacant stare, sweat pouring down his face. My father grabbed his old hunting rifle and raced towards his truck, but my mother stopped him, warning it could be cartel members trying to lure victims for kidnappings. My father heeded her and decided to wait until dawn to investigate with the help of my uncles. At the first rays of sunlight, my father and uncles, heavily armed, made the short pilgrimage back to ground zero, where what they found was chilling. The gates wide open, broken glass everywhere, and the lingering stench of wet dog still heavy in the air. They collected the remains of at least 10 chickens and a piglet, all sucked completely dry of blood. At the entrance of the old adobe kitchen was a bundle of sticks tied neatly with a black ribbon, eerily similar to something out of the Blair Witch Project. When my mother was informed, she immediately decided to demolish the old adobe structure and recruited the local priest to perform a cleansing prayer and a rosary in Latin. Fast forward 15 years, and to this day, the locals never, and I mean never, cross the path for fear of encountering the wolfmen of the cursed Black Witch. All right. That is story number 1.
Intriguing
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You know, I think this is an untapped, could it be an untapped, wealth of stories here in Mexico? Just got to get them translated.
Yeah.
So, is this legit? Is this real? Is it fake? What do you think, Matt? What is any thoughts on it?
You want me to give my opinion on if it's real or not?
Or do we want to
just,
wait? Or do we want to wait to
Yeah,
the
I
end?
think we should read like what we did with mine. Let's read
All
them
right.
all and
Yep.
guess.
All right. All right. So here goes story number 2. And this one here is called The White Miner. Okay. A few years back, I was visiting my aunt in Zacatecas, Mexico. Her house sits at the edge of the old mining town. Zacatecas is somewhere, it's kind of near where I'll be going. It sits at the edge of the old mining town where the hills are honeycombed with tunnels that haven't been touched since the 1800s. The locals always said the mines weren't just abandoned, they were sealed because something was woken up when that was never meant to be disturbed. One evening, just before dusk, I went out back with my cousin to fetch water from the cistern. As we passed the corral, we both heard what we thought was a man chanting, but it was low, guttural, almost like it was echoing from underground. At first, I thought it was just someone drunk in the distance, but the chanting was rhythmic, measured, like some strange ritual. The closer we got to the edge of the property, the colder it became, even though it was the middle of summer. Even though it was the middle of summer. That's when we noticed the animals. My aunt's goats were pressed into the far corner of the corral, completely silent, like they were hiding from something. Not one bleated or moved. We stopped dead in our tracks when we saw a shape at the edge of the dried out creek bed. A tall figure draped in what looked like rags or shredded cloth. But the face, it was covered in a sort of a white mask, almost skeletal. My cousin whispered, El Minero Blanco, which is the white miner. I've never heard of it, but he swore the old miners used to talk about a spirit that roamed above after accidents underground, part guardian, part executioner. Supposedly, if you ever saw it above ground, it meant someone nearby had been marked. The figure didn't move towards us. It just stood there. But suddenly the chanting stopped and every dog in the village started barking at once. My cousin dropped the bucket and bolted. I couldn't move. I just stared at the figure, which seemed to blur into the air like heat waves until it wasn't there anymore. I didn't sleep well at all that night, and neither did my cousin. We both were tossing and turning, and any noise outside freaked us out. The next morning, I heard from my uncle that an old man from the village was found dead near the entrance of one of the collapsed tunnels. The story goes that his face was pale and his eyes were wide open. There was no sign of struggle, no blood, just gone like the life had been drained out of him. My aunt had a priest come out the next week. He told us never to walk near the creek bed after sundown and warned that the Minero Blanco doesn't just haunt the mines. It follows those who have seen it. To this day, my cousin will not talk about this at all. And when I bring it up, he kind of freaks out and tells me to shut up. And that is the end of that story. So, El Minero Blanco. Is that one true? This is real. You can tell because it's not exaggerated. All right. So, Lyson, that's what Lyson says. Hey, Jess, I was about to say any story in the Appalachians makes me automatically lean towards truth. As a Tennessee girl, I know how strange it is out there. So, Jess was talking about your story there, Matt, earlier.
Yeah, I answered her too there, saying
I missed that.
How well known the Appalachians are for being supernatural and paranormally connected. I mean, from cryptids to ghosts and strange lights and everything.
Yep, I agree. All right, we're going to jump to the third and the last one. It's just titled Bigfoot. And this one's, I think, a little bit longer than the other ones. No, it's not that bad. I had an encounter a few years before my father passed away. It wasn't hostile, but it was definitely defensive. My father owns a 61-acre property, mostly wooded canyon land between two mountains. One deer season, I was about 150 yards behind the house in a small clearing where we keep the feeder. The feeder stands about 10 feet off the ground, and I was hauling up a 50-pound bag of corn on a ladder. As I lifted the lid, I suddenly heard a deep guttural roar from across the creek on the opposite canyon wall. It wasn't like anything I had ever heard before, similar to a bear, but deeper. 3 times as loud and so powerful it seemed to vibrate my bones. Immediately after the roar, I saw a massive boulder, easily 60 pounds, come hurling through the trees. It crashed about 30 yards from me. It wasn't aimed directly at me, but it was clearly meant as a warning. Then I saw movement. Trees were shaking violently, and in the midst of the oaks, I caught sight of a hulking, shadowy bipedal figure. It was massive, 9 or 10 feet tall, broad-shouldered, covered in hair. The brush kept me from seeing a clear outline, but its sheer size and the way it moved told me it was no ordinary animal. It ran up the canyon wall with astonishing speed, pounding the ground with such force I could feel it. As it ran, it let out short, exerted growls, raw, 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 with every few strides. Within 10 or 15 seconds, it had vanished up the mountain. I just froze on the ladder, caught in a strange trance of awe, fear, and disbelief. When I finally snapped out of it, I rushed over to where it first appeared, hoping for tracks, but all I found was a rock slide, displaced stones and dirt, no prints. Later, I told my father what I had seen and heard, half expecting him to think I was crazy. Instead, he looked at me and said, "Yeah, I heard him too, a couple of weeks ago." His description matched mine exactly. I know it sounds insane. For years, I kept the story to myself because of that, but it happened, and I don't believe it was an attack. I think it was more like, hey, you're too close, back off. And that is the rest of the story. That is the third story. So we have the number 1, which was the Hombre Lobo, the Wolfman. We have the number 2, which is the White Miner, the Blanco, Minero Blanco. And then we have the number 3, which was the Bigfoot or Pie Grande. What do you guys think? What are your beliefs of what these were? So what do you think yourself, Matt?
Man, I think number 2's real. I'm caught between number 1 and number 3. Number 3's vague, so that's where I'm leaning towards. The only thing that makes me question number 1 a little bit is because of the silver, and it's. I know that can be true. There's always truth to myth and things like that. I'm gonna go, and I could be wrong. I'm gonna go with number 3 because it seems a little vague.
Number 3. Okay, we got number 3. Logan is saying it's the third as well. Josh, what are you saying? Me too? Is that meaning that you're thinking number 3? And Jess, what do you think? BJ, what do you think? Carol, Fox, what are you guys thinking? Sugi, what do you guys think is the fake one? Oh, Josh is saying number 1 is the fake one. Scott from South Carolina, good to see you. He is saying number 3. Scott. Yeah. All right. So we got kind of a toss up between number 1 and number 3. Look, no, actually, most are saying number 3, the Bigfoot. All right. So we want to reveal the truth on this one.
Let's find out.
You're all wrong.
It's number 2.
Number 2.
Good job, Rye.
Yeah.
Very good.
That, you know what? That number 1 was ridiculous. Crazy. Like Sorry, Lyson, number 1 is crazy awesome, and it's real.
Yeah, there was a lot of detail to it. That's why I thought it was real.
Yes. Good point. It was very detailed, and
you did a good job, man, of fooling us, man. Good job. Yes. You know what? I almost picked number 1 instead of number 3 because 3 was vague, but I almost said 3 was real because the last thing you said about him saying that he got bluff charged. And that's what I was like, oh man, that's really happens. So good job.
Yeah, it was. I agree with Lyson on this one. I can't believe number 1 is real. When I read that, I was like I'm gonna try some of these stories that I found. They're old. Like
Agreed,
I'm not gonna tell
BJ.
you where I get them. I'm gonna keep it quiet. But it's like 9 years old already, so I don't know if I can track these people down. But I would definitely love to hear about that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted one to be real because of how detailed it was. Plus, it was a dog man too. I loved Josh is hilarious. I love this game, but definitely suck at it.
That's funny.
Hey, I'm getting them wrong as well. I'm getting them wrong. Okay, Lyson is really pushing for videos. Lyson, did you send any? Did he send any to you by chance, Matt?
I don't know if he did. Let me check real quick.
No problem. Lyson, if you have any videos, fire them over.
Oh yeah, he did. He did. Rye, I'll send them to you in Messenger.
Sure. For sure. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Before we jump into the videos, while Matt is sending them over, I'm going to talk about Atlas 3i, okay? And this is the information that I was given about 3i Atlas, okay? So 3i, if you think about it, what does 3i sound like to you, Matt? If I said 3i.
We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're watching you.
Yeah, well, third eye. I like that too. It could be that we're watching you, but 3i could also be like Carol says, Raven, like the third eye Raven. Or it could be, your third eye. But the eye that is on the forehead, exactly, Lyson. But let's go to Atlas. Okay, perfect. I'll be open that up here. So I want to go to Atlas. Atlas, there's kind of like 2 stories of Atlas. Atlas was one of the Titans, one of the old gods, right? And he was cast down by Zeus. And a lot of people think he was holding up the earth, but it's not the earth. I know that's how it's depicted so much, but it was the cosmos. It was the universe, okay? So he was kind of, and here we go, he was kind of holding the border between the heavens and earth, okay? So that is where he was. He was holding the gates of heaven and earth almost like closed. Now, that's one theory that he was that Titan. Another one is said that, and this is by Plato, that he was the first king of Atlantis, hence Atlantis, okay? Now, he had 10 sons, and he divided the kingdom of Atlantis up amongst his 10 sons, which could also be called 10 kingdoms, 10 families as well. Fast forward to Revelations, okay? The Antichrist is supposed to bring together the 10 families or the 10 kingdoms, okay? Mm-hmm. 2 of those, I believe, he's going to overthrow and rule himself. 2 or 3, I think, is something along that line. But so we're bringing that in, okay? Now, how does this tie into 3i Atlas? I'm thinking the 3i Atlas is, and I don't want to steal your thunder on this one. I know, Matt, we were talking about Project Bluebeam. It could be along the lines of Project Bluebeam, where this is coming in, and everybody's their attention is all going to be directed up at this. Now, the closest that this will come, they're saying the closest will be as close as Mars gets to Earth. Okay, which, all in all, is still fairly close.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that is supposed to happen around December 21st. Okay, there's a day for you. That's the winter solstice
before my daughter's birthday.
Oh, and it is the winter solstice as well, the winter solstice is the darkest day of the year. Okay, now the day after. Okay, I want you guys to think about this too. It's the darkest day of the year, and it remains that way. Like we have the most darkness for 3 days, and then the sun
to use holograms.
It could be, and then the sun returns. So this is kind of off topic, but 3 days of death and then resurrection. Okay, the sun returns. Just think about that one for everyone.
That's spooky.
Yes. Now, what could be the story is it's not like, oh, this is the end. This is the end. No, this is the beginning, possibly the beginning of the end, in my opinion, that this ship has now come near us. We've seen its intentions. We know what it's going to bring, and it flies off. Maybe it does something to us, does some damage, it causes some destruction, and then leaves. And we know that we have maybe 50 years. We have approximately 50 years to prepare. Within that time, what not better than to have everybody join into a one world government, one religion, bring everybody together. That is a comet. It's not any, license, but they're claiming something that it's something more. And so this is what I'm saying that could be the narrative, the story, because that's what we do. We speculate. I don't like listening to everything that's being told on the news. Never have, never will. And so I always try to look further and deeper into what's really happening. What could this story be? This narrative that they're telling us, and especially when if they plaster something all over mainstream media, if they throw it all over mainstream media, there's truth in it, but it's definitely a deceit. It's definitely a lie. So I just keep your eyes open.
And remember, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but remember,
no, please go.
Whenever information is coming from NASA, remember what it means. Never a straight answer. They are full of it. I don't trust NASA at all.
Never a straight answer. I actually say not a space agency, but never a straight answer. There we go.
I love it.
Bravo. A lot.
Yes, Ancient Ruby for sure.
Yeah. All right. So Lyson has shared us a
Rye, you're cutting out
video,
on us a little
the face
bit.
of Sasquatch. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share this with you guys. Present or invite. Share screen. Let's go. Chrome tab. The face of Sasquatch disappearance. Okay, so is this is the one missing 411 Bigfoot Sasquatch David? Okay.
Hey, Rye, you're cutting in and out. You're having some issues.
Okay.
The final case
you still hear me, Matt?
In today's episode
now
is that of Jared Negrete, a 12-year-old in 19. Jared vanished on Gorgonio Mountain in summer of 1991 during a Boy Scout camping trip.
Yeah, he's having a
in
little
July
issue
1991,
with connection.
Jared Negrete had gone with his fellow Boy Scouts on a camping trip, which was the first trip. Negrete had trouble keeping up with the other scouts due to lack of experience with hiking. The scout troop then decided to hike ahead of Negrete at a faster pace, leaving him behind.
I'm still here.
He then got separated from his group, and it was reported by other hikers and witnesses on the trail that he was seen taking shortcuts in the switchback sections. That was the last anyone would see or hear from Jared Negrete.
Is it lagging, Matt?
As the troop made their way back down, Jared was nowhere to be.
Okay. Are you able to share it then? Are you able to share it? Because it is definitely on my end. It's my, we're just talking about computers. I'm having computer problems then. So I'm going to turn mine. I'm going to get rid of that.
Let me
throw my camera back on.
Let me put Facebook up for myself here.
Yeah, no problem. As soon as you get it, I will. It's showing my internet is really bad. And what's crazy, everyone, is I am directly plugged in to my Wi-Fi. Like, I mean, I'm not using Wi-Fi.
Yeah, me too.
My Ethernet cable is plugged in. Was a Titan punched by Zeus? Yes, Jess, that is what I said too. Yeah, the Atlas was said to hold the heavens,
Hold on.
not the heavens, but like the universe, or and I'm just.
All right, hold on a second. Oh, those new. Oh, wait a sec. No, those are the two he sent. Okay, hold on a sec.
And now I'm muted. Thank you, BJ. I'm like not even paying attention. What is going on? I'm having some issues. All right. Yes.
All right, which one? The Face of Sasquatch or Hellfire?
No, you're not. I was muted. I was doing the Face of Sasquatch.
Okay, that's the one I'll share.
Yeah. I've heard this before. I think I heard this before as well. But okay, here we go. Add to stage. Matt
let
is
me get it. All right.
My dog. Something killed your dog? My dog went flying through the air over the tree. I don't know how it did it. Okay.
Oh, that opening, that's when the guy called 911, and he's like, there's a guy down here, he's over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, that's a
I think
famous
that's from
one.
Sasquatch Chronicles. They have that in as.
The final case we will take a look at in today's episode is that of Jared Negrete, a 12-year-old boy from California who disappeared in the San Bernardino National Forest in 1991. Jared vanished on the slopes of San Gorgonio Mountain in summer of 1991 during a Boy Scout camping trip. In July 1991, Jared Negrete had gone with his fellow Boy Scouts on a camping trip, which was the first trip that he would spend overnight. On the trail towards the summit of Mount San Gorgonio, Negrete had trouble keeping up with the other scouts due to lack of experience with hiking. The scout troop then decided to hike ahead of Negrete at a faster pace, leaving him behind. He then got separated from his group, and it was reported by other hikers and witnesses on the trail that he was seen taking shortcuts in the switchback sections. That was the last anyone would see or hear from Jared Negrete.
That's rough.
As the troop made their way back down, Jared was nowhere to be found. A large-scale search and rescue operation was launched to find the boy, involving helicopters, tracking dogs, thermal imaging, and hundreds of volunteers. Sources say every section of the armed services took part in the search. Companies of U.S. Marines interrupted their training and were brought into the San Bernardino National Forest. Classified sensor technology was also used. The 3-week search combed the area of the 11,500-foot Mount San Gorgonio. Shoe prints were found at about 10,000 feet, matching those of Negrete.
Whoa.
Also found was his backpack, as well as some beef jerky, candy wrappers, and a camera. But Negrete himself could not be located. No trace of his body has ever been recovered since. No credible evidence of an animal attack, an abduction, or an accidental fall has ever surfaced. 12 snapshots were developed from the camera that belonged to Jared. Most pictures on the film strip depicted the surrounding landscape, but the last image was a close-up of Jared's face. Only his eyes and nose were visible in the photograph.
Something
That's creepy
behind
no matter
him.
what.
It appears to be obvious that, on the last photo, Jared tried to photograph what was hiding behind him in the dark, due to the angle of the photo and the use of the flash.
Wow.
Many speculate that the white light behind Jared's head is the reflection of an eye of somebody or something, standing behind the boy in the darkness of the forest.
That poor kid.
Some say that not only the reflection of an eye is visible in the photo, but that you can actually see the entire right side of the face of a Sasquatch, including the right side of its nose and its mouth.
Wow.
And indeed, it looks as if there is an ape-like face visible, standing directly behind Jared.
Oh man, that poor kid. How horrible.
Despite the massive
I
search
agree.
operation, featuring the military and classified technology, Jared Negrit's fate in the San Bernardino National Forest and his whereabouts remain a mystery. No further signs of the boy nor his body ever were found. So, the theory that national parks and national forests are indeed the hunting grounds and the territory of something unknown to the wider public might not
Multiple
be as far-fetched
things.
as it seems.
Mhm.
We will look at other cases
Multiple.
of missing.
That's right. All right, that was that's a little crazy, a little scary.
Yeah.
So here's a question. I'll throw this one out there right away. Do you think that they are killed or they're abducted to someplace else?
I personally think some of them are killed and unfortunately eaten. And I think
Mhm.
other ones are taken, and the females like keep children as like their children sometimes. Or
Like
I don't
like
I want
almost
to
like
be
a oh, go ahead. Sorry, Matt.
well, there's been stories of female Sasquatch stealing babies and stuff, maybe lost theirs, died.
Yeah,
And then there's also stories,
exactly
unfortunately,
what I was
of
gonna say.
women being taken and the males having their way with
Yeah.
them. So
Jeez. And that's exactly what I was gonna say, that they lose their child and they want a replacement. They
yeah.
need something to fill that void.
I remember one story of a little boy telling his family there was the monkey lady always looks in my window and like smiles at me and taps the glass, and I think he even said something like she was going like this to him. So, you know,
Jeez, oh man.
yeah. And then, of course, you get into Dogman, which there's no case, in my opinion. They find you and you're not found, you're done, unfortunately. And then, you have your
Yep.
paranormal
Yep.
things where people step in the portals and people disappear, and very weird, strange, paranormal, strange things like and missing 411. That's not connected to like cryptids and things like that. So weird stuff happening, and you never know, those guys that hang out, in their ships, if they're up to something as well.
Yep. Yeah, what exactly is going on? And that's all we have is clearly speculation. We're going off of anecdotal evidence, partial evidence, that physical evidence that has been found, whether it just be footprints. That's pretty much like that is all we're being told there is. Yeah, go
They
ahead.
Good point, because they will not, the Rangers do not give any information out. So whatever they find, they're not telling us. They're not saying, oh yes, we know for a fact, they were killed by some kind of animal, or we know that there's Bigfoot out here, and sometimes people disappear.
Yeah. It's it's really, yeah, they don't want to raise that alarm, because then, people be freaked out, and you'll get one of two things: no one coming anymore to the parks, and then you'll get like the hunters. You'll get
Yeah,
hunters. No, and I don't mean hunters who are going to kill as well, but you also get people who want to hunt this and capture it,
right.
and it just becomes pandemonium and crazy. And yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. To who said that? Uh, Somebody had mentioned that they go in
uh,
and out.
uh,
I mean,
yeah,
100% they go in and
that is
out of
Tammy.
different
Yeah.
dimensions.
Yeah. I do agree too. I think, and this is my own theory, I think the longer they stay in this dimension, the more physical they become. I think a lot of
Mhm.
people would agree with that. And then when they step back through, they lose that physicality, or that 100% physical form almost. But the longer they spend here, the more physical, the more like laws of physics they have to follow by, the laws of
Right.
nature, are reality, that they have to abide by that. So that is my theory on that one.
Then the next video is ready to go whenever you're ready.
Cool. Yeah, let's rock and roll with that one. Here we go. License said this was just released yesterday, saying it was quite interesting. So let's do this.
You ready, Rye?
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
Jump to the conclusion that I believe that there are, aliens coming from another planet. But I'm open to that. And I think that it's our responsibility, especially when we're seeing that we have a government that is actively blocking information from us. Just last night, I tried to get an amendment onto the National Defense Authorization Act that fit in the germaneness of that bill to have UAP disclosure. And conveniently, it was named non-germane, mostly deemed by staff, not even an elected official. This is the kind of stuff that we repeatedly see. Last year, we were blocked by someone in House administration from being able to receive a full briefing from Arrow. So not an elected official, but someone in staff blocked us. And I've had it. Enough is enough. I want to cue up a video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe, this was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb or this object off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. That you cannot see that drone, and so I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what it does.
I'm interested in this. Where is that Hellfire missile? There it comes. What?
Whoa.
It's separated into like a bunch of other little parts.
Yeah.
This is when it zoomed out. So you can still see it traveling.
It like disassembled it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Mr. Knapp, do you have any?
George Knapp is there. He's well known for his work
events
on
like this
Skinwalker
occurring.
Ranch.
And what information might you have?
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah. What the hell is that? What
So
flies like that?
again, I'm not going to speculate what it is, but the question is, why are we being blocked from this information consistently? I want to ask this just question. How in the world, this is the document, I want to enter this in for the record if it hasn't already been entered, Madam Chair. The document that you provided on thread 3, this is a huge file. How in the world did you smuggle this out of Russia?
Carefully.
In your socks?
I don't think I want to be really specific about it because I might have to go back there and get some more sometime.
Okay.
No, that'd be crazy to do that.
Well, where he hit it.
I took the top pages off that were stamped with the security signature, and I carried them out on my person. But the rest of them I just threw in my suitcase and threw some caviar in there as a distraction as well, and hoped for the best. Otherwise, I'd be a citizen of Siberia right now.
You had you reported James Lakatsky came to you with government possession of NHI craft and how they ultimately gained entry. Can you testify to the veracity of that claim?
Dr. Lakatsky is an honorable man who served most of his career with the DIA, a very trusted, high-level rocket scientist and intelligence analyst who inspired the OSAP program, as I said earlier. And in full disclosure, I've co-written 2 books with him. He dropped this on myself and our other co-author out of the blue. And it took 14 months for us to get DOPSR approval for him to release 2 sentences on that. He said this craft, we had managed to get inside of it. It had no wings, no rotor, no tail. It had no fuel tanks. They didn't know how it flew or how it was operated. It clearly looked like it was aerodynamic, but he would not go further. He's a by-the-book guy, and until he gets clearance to say more about that, I don't think we're going to hear much more. But it's not ours. It wasn't ours. We didn't make it. We didn't know who made it and how it was built and how it operated. We've got at least one. And I don't know. I think that's enough confirmation that we do have recovered discs and materials.
Leslie, Mr. Borland, in the classified realm, have you been exposed to undeniable confirmation of NHI technology? And then my second question is Base Systems involved in any way with reverse engineering exploitation of non-human intelligence craft?
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation this year for that. Whether I'm legally even allowed to answer that, and whether you're even allowed to hear it, sir.
Okay. Again, you can sense our frustration, and so I just want to thank you for coming forward. We will continue to fight because look, this is about making sure that this government belongs to the people and restoring the republic the way it was intended to be.
It's supposed to be. Government is
Madam
supposed
Chair, I
to
also
belong to the people.
further
It's supposed to
witnesses
work
of
for the
courageous
people.
individuals. It was given to me by Dr. Stephen Greer,
Of course, he didn't
including
answer
Michael
license.
Herrera and his testimony.
Disclosure is
we
never
have
going
Roderick
to happen. It's
Castle,
always
his
going to
testimony,
be teased out in
Randy
front
Anderson,
of everyone.
his testimony,
100%.
Stephen Digna, and others, 3 others, all
Little breadcrumbs.
saying similar things to what the witnesses today
And they
have
do
said.
this
And I would
to
like to
try
enter
and
that into
keep
the record as well.
mass
No objection.
happy something
Thank
is
you.
released.
I now recognize Representative Lee for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think
How much
we
time is
need to make
left
sure that we don't
video?
get distracted by sensational stories only of unidentified anomalous phenomena and lose track of what the core of this hearing is about. This is all a perfect example of why whistleblowers are so
I don't know if it's
and
is
why
it worth
it's
it?
so important that we step up and protect them. With Trump,
License
Arthur
should
Jr.,
leave
EPA,
this blank.
literally Zeldin, and others committed to dismantling government and firing
Or is this the
professionals who
best
do
part
dare to
already
speak
over?
out against the threats.
Yeah,
This administration's
I
disastrous
think we're
policies
already
create.
over.
We have to focus on protecting all whistleblowers, not only the ones
And
who are
the
reporting on
video.
UAP.
Okay, gotcha.
I'd like to thank the whistleblower.
Yeah, that was fascinating, but it's just like it is always, man. Like we have always been told that disclosure's coming, and then they'll hold some conferences, some commissionary meetings and hearings, and then it's just swept underneath the rug again. Maybe they'll pull out some mummified aliens, which I believe those are real.
They
I believe
have
those
them.
mummified aliens
Yeah.
are real. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
for
it's just
sure.
kind of we're just going to show you a little bit, and there we're done.
Give you a taste,
that's
so
what it
you leave us alone for a little bit. But it's as Jeremy Corbell and Lear, I think is his last name. He worked for a paper and for a news station, and then is that his name? I already forget it. The guy that was speaking, and he started working with the first group of people. That Bigelow that owned Skinwalker Ranch, and then the new people took over, and he's been working with Jeremy Corbell ever since, and they've been getting incredible stuff. I think, what do I think about that license? I think it is 100% for real. I'm infuriated all the time about this, so I'm glad that there are people in Congress that are making waves and getting loud, and more of them are coming out too. And if people have noticed, you like Trump or not, one thing I can at least respect about him is that he has made it seem like he wants to tell people about the alien situation and open stuff up, but of course he's not being allowed to do all that yet.
Yeah,
he said in his.
I think he can be. I think he could more, but he's not.
No, he keeps saying he's going to do it. I'm going to do this for my next time in office, but he hasn't done it yet. He does. I'll give him mad respect.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, Matt. I think with all politicians, they're all promise and no follow through is the way it all goes. Now, Ancient Ruby was talking about Stephen Greer. I don't know where I sit with Stephen Greer. She's saying he's a reptilian. He's working for them. Now, I have a couple theories on Greer.
Said that.
Mm-hmm. I have a couple theories that yes, he could be that. I also think that Greer is controlled opposition, but not knowing he's controlled. Like literally, they showed him this stuff that he's talking about, but they did that on purpose so they could control the narrative of what is being talked about. Like that is one way is like, okay, we're going to make him an actual whistleblower, but he's going to whistleblow what we want him to talk about. So we're going to let him see these things. So yeah, it's I don't know. Is he a reptilian? He could be. He very much could be. You know, CE5. Some people believe CE5 is calling in almost like a like possessions almost. It's like you're calling in, and I know Jess and maybe and Tammy might disagree with this, but sometimes you're calling these things to possess you, or you're calling in negative things as well. So it could be that. It could be that we are some other form of communication with some entities that we should not be communicating with. In the end, we don't know. My suggestion is always be aware and wary of everything. If you're communicating with something, if you're communicating with someone with such this high intelligence, why do they want to communicate with us? Okay.
Right.
So think about that. You got these things that are such advanced beings. You think that they want to raise our vibrations as some people think, or is it that they're using us for something? You know, like if we go to Star Trek, you know, the prime directive is not to interfere with any other civilizations. They need to follow their own true course. So,
well, you know, then
I know it's Star Trek, but I believe it's true.
They've talked about like the ones that look like the blonde. I forget what they call them. The tall ones, the Nordics. They've said that their goal is to help the human race move forward and you know come into a different era of you know peace and you know, healing and things like that. They just have said that, you know, we're not ready for that in the past. So maybe, you know, they're saying, oh, maybe they're starting to get to the point that they might be able to handle this. I would be so happy if this turned out to be a positive, real, you know, alien situation where they come and they're like, hey guys, we're here to help you guys. I'm like, thank God it's time, man, because it's bad out here now.
But that could also be the part of the end, the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
because we're here to elevate you and raise your vibration and bring you up. And everybody's like, yes, this is it.
You got to die to do that, maybe.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. There's so many possibilities, you know, like it could be good, it could be bad, it could be this, it could be that. I don't know. And I was going to say, was it someone was asking, do you think I think it was, who was asking this? Let me go back here. Logan was asking, Rye, do you think there, and Matt will answer this together, could there be aliens in the government or helping the government? I know exactly what I would say. What would you say, Matt?
I you know, there's been whistleblowers, like for instance, I always point at Paul Hellyer, the ex-Canadian Minister of Defense, was that position for like 40 years, has been one of the biggest vocal whistleblowers out there, speaking in front of the United Nations and other entities around the world, saying that aliens have been in contact with our large governments for many, many years, longer than any of you realize. There are hybrids that are living among us. hybrids that have, made their way into seats of great power and politics and things like that in government. So yes, 100%.
Yeah. I don't think I have to say anything or add anything, because that's exactly what I believe as well. I believe 100% there is aliens in the government, working with the government, manipulating the government, trading with the government, allow the government, because we have a contract with the government when we are born. We have a birth certificate. It's signed that we are we are owned by our governments, and the government then can trade us. It can be like, okay, you can take X amount of people, you can abduct X amount of people and conduct experiments on them, whether it be hybridization
Which
for
is one of the
exchange for technology.
conspiracies.
Yeah.
And then you have another conspiracy of what happened at what is it in New Mexico, in Dulce. They had supposedly the alien base that was hidden in the Dulce, New Mexico.
Yeah.
And they were supposedly, when the military had found that and went to war with them, they had said they found like huge tanks of blue fluid that had like human body parts in it, and that they were allowing what you said, allowing them to take X amount, only so many, a lot of homeless people, and other people that you can only take so many. So
yeah, only X amount. And again, it's like the only proof we have are whistleblowers, anecdotal evidence of people being abducted, and in these programs, even in the 20 and back programs as well. Those, I will admit I was skeptical of those, but hearing more and more of the stories, like I think some are true and some are people who have, because to control the narrative, you need to have your own people within there giving out fake information. So I believe that some of them are either fake players, or they have fake memories, and they're giving out these stories which can be picked apart, and they're like, no, this doesn't exist. So it's very covert of them, of how they do that. You slip in your people into any type of movement, you take control, because if you try fighting a movement, you're not going to win. Okay, you're going to only elevate it, and you're going to show that there's something to be paying attention. But if you go into those movements, whichever they are, and you take control from the inside and you pervert them, then they lose all credibility. So that's something to think of as well.
And I just wanted to say this real quick with the Dulce war. You had the gentleman, it was Phil Schneider, who was he was the guy that was sent down when a pocket opened up by the base, like where this noxious black smoke was coming out when they were drilling, and he went down this like elevator, like 2-person elevator thing on a wire with a MP, and he said he saw different aliens, and the one MP, when one came near them, there were huge one and a small one, and the MP shot one of them, and then the big one shot him, and Phil Schneider got hit too by some kind of a blue laser that he used. It shot out, and it like burned his arm and everything, and he went on all around the world speaking about what happened. And over a certain amount of time, he started saying, "I'm being followed. I'm going to be murdered." He told his family, if I end up dead, I was murdered. And he died in an extremely strange way. And a lot of people think he was hushed.
That happens all too often. When I did my my story on the Third Eye spies, that happened as well, where the psychic spies were murdered as well, in a very peculiar way as well. I wouldn't say they died, but I believe it was they were murdered. So Oh, I know we're getting close to our time there, Matt. I don't want to keep you too long. One thing I wanted to do, I know BJ has said about this. I do have a merch store. I know Matt does as well. So if you guys want to check them out, that'd be fantastic. I'm gonna just do a little quick like, hey, here's my merch store kind of thing, so you guys can see if you're interested. Cool, go for it. Check it out. So this is some of the products that I have. You know, they are my shirts I'm making. Nephilim Slayer. I kind of went with the Slayer logo. My friend Brad. Yeah. And then we got some Bigfoot, some Codega, a True Sikh Dogman, and just a plethora of shirts to go through. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in some shirts, and they are not extremely expensive either, I made sure that one of the channel members, Michelle, has bought herself a couple, and yeah, she actually told me, she's like, "You're not charging enough." Like, no, I think it's good. I think it's a good price, because I don't want to overly charge people. I want to make some money, but I don't want to not leave it accessible for people. But yeah, and Matt, you got a store as well, correct?
Yeah, BJ's putting the link up in the chat. Thank you, BJ. I have a nice number of things. I have different shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, phone cases, stickers, posters. And I actually have had a couple people say, "Hey, can you, it'd be great if you made this." I'm actually going to make a couple other things people requested. And if I have any graphics, like people like some stuff I put up in the group, I always put a different picture in my group almost every day. And some people say, "Could you make this one?" I'll do it. And some of my more popular graphics, I haven't made into anything yet. I'm going to make shirts with them soon. So a lot of different kinds of things over at the fourth wall of my store there. And you can get into it through my channel.
Perfect. I love Matt's Planet 412, where he's got like all the cryptids within the letters. I think that is awesome. I love that design. So we have Carol. I'm going to get to Brandon right away, his question here. But Carol said, "Do you think the face peelers are government agents?" And the face peelers are the ones that were down in Peru, I believe. Was that Peru or Argentina? Where they were, they said that they were miners. It's one of those two. I don't think they're government agents. I say that they are actual, I don't know. I don't want to say aliens, but they are not. I think that I actually believe that we share our planet with another species, and that species here before us. We are. This isn't our planet. This is their planet that we're living with. Okay.
Yep.
So I think that is kind of possibly the other species. Now, Brandon asked, "Hey, Rye, can you make another video about gang stalking?" I love watching those. So if for those who don't know, gang stalking, that is an association with TIs, targeted individuals. And Brandon, just hold your horses. There'll be one coming out right away. I made another video with oh my gosh, I forgot his name. The same person that I had the original targeted individual show up with. I have made another one. It's in the lineup and it is coming out, so I have that as well. What about you, Matt? Do you have any shows coming up? What's on the docket for you?
I have a live stream coming up on Saturday. I do them every week, Tuesday and Saturday. I'm going to do another review video. We're going to have some good stuff. I'm going to have time to specifically pick them out. You know, sometimes when I'm really busy, we'll put on, you know, different videos on YouTube and check out some of the different creators that, you know, have bigger channels like Slapped Ham. And I really like, what's his name? the Impossible channel. We did some nukes top 5 yesterday. Some of them weren't too great, but I'm going to make sure I personally pick some out. And I also have videos that I've been getting sent from viewers. So this will be a viewers review this Saturday as well. This next week, I'm going to be releasing a number of narration story videos, and I am going to be this weekend releasing the short, giving everybody a little taste of the Youngstown Steel Mill deal that we did there, the investigation. I'm working on the video for that, and then I will also have some of my regular stories coming out. On top of that, I have a collaboration with a friend of ours. His name is Mike. He's from Mr. E Files is the name of his YouTube channel, and him and I are going to be releasing a collaboration together here in the next week or two. We're almost done with our videos, so that will be really cool. And a lot of stuff coming up. And then also the big thing.
You got a ton.
Sorry, the big thing coming up, obviously, is in October when, like I talked about at the beginning, we're going to be going on our next, and this is going to be a giant investigation with me, Carol Ann from the In Between, David Wolf from ETS Exposing the Strange, BJ is going to be coming with us, Lapierre. And we're going to be really going at it, going to Hellfire, Kentucky, to do a huge investigation on, if you haven't seen it on Prime Video, the series, it's like a docu-series called Hellfire. Go check it out. That will explain to you the kind of situation, why we're going there. And I talked about the goblin attack in Kentucky when I went over my story. They are intertwined 100%. So that's coming up. And then also on Halloween, David Wolf and I are going to be going to a cemetery. Not sure which one we're going to, but we're going to be doing a live stream and an investigation at he says and the kid Mike that was with us also the night at the steel mill knows of a cemetery that's supposedly really, creepy, paranormally live, and we're going to do a investigation on Halloween from there. So that's everything that's going on.
Cool, man. You got a lot in the pipeline coming up, man. That is awesome. And I was just saying that, so Brandon, that video is coming out next week. So you only got to wait 1 week. It'll be the video will be out on Thursday, and the audio will be out on Tuesday. So yeah, it's I think, yeah, Matt, you got a lot coming out, which is fantastic. I
got to get my stuff out though.
Exactly.
And it's coming.
Exactly. Myself, I will be stepping in and doing any of my random lives. So these lives for me, like I said to everyone, they are random. I don't have a set schedule. I'm going to be changing that soon. I think I'm going to kind of scale back a little bit on my interviews and start to do a little more lives on Thursdays. We'll see. I might just be doing some solo episodes because it gets I'm getting a little burnt out. So we'll see after my vacation when I get back. But and lives are fun. They're easy. Sorry, Matt, you're going to say something?
Yeah. So I wanted to, and I can't believe I didn't mention this. I still want on the Hellfire trip when we're there, I want to, and I'm planning on doing a live stream while we're there that night. And I still want you to man the live stream for us, and we'll be talking with you. So we will set that up and have you involved with that.
I am down with that. And one last thing, I also want to say is that Discord and discussion is always welcome here. if you don't believe what it's kind of like those stories we told earlier, it's up to us to decipher which is true, which is not, and what's true for you and what's not. So it's very important that we have a discussion, to have those communication lines open. We shouldn't ridicule one another, but we should have discussion. If you don't believe something, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not, and in my Facebook group, if someone posts something and you're like, I don't really believe that, I'm not one of those people who are going to kick you out for saying, I don't believe that. I'll be upset if you're sitting there laughing at the people and mocking them, but it is okay to question. It is okay. We have to have these lines of communication open. I think it's very important, especially in this day and age. We have to have better communication. It's extremely important. I think that's just about it, Matt.
I was going to comment to Ancient Ruby. She said, when shows talk to the chat is always the best. Well, here Rye is doing that. If you want to be a big part of the show and have talk back and forth, come to Planet 412's live stream this Saturday, and you will definitely have that. That's a huge part of what I'm doing.
Matt does that a lot. I know I don't do it as well as Matt does it. I try to do my best with it. Sometimes it takes a little bit because I get distracted and then I lose where I was. I'm like, oh crap, what was I talking about?
You're killing it. Don't be down. I love what you're doing here. You are absolutely, and I love what everybody is saying about you lately, because it's the truth. And I've been saying it for a long time. There is no one, in my opinion, except the only one I think is on your level is the Y-Files, that you are able to bring so much information and like top-notch information and information that no one else gets. You are like the man of being able to research and give people so much when you're doing shows about things. And that's what everybody's been saying lately. Rye is the man. He gets it all done with the information.
I really, really appreciate Matt. That means a lot. I totally forgot. I had made BJ a advertisement for her book that she's selling on Amazon. BJ, I am loading it right now as we speak. So we're just going to talk a little bit more, but stay tuned. BJ is a fantastic moderator for my group and for Matt's as well. She's always there helping out. I have a couple other mods as well that are fantastic, and I really appreciate the work they do, and I like to give back. So I told her that the next live I would do, I would show her advertisement, her advert. She sent it to me, and I said, well, I didn't say. Actually, I kind of took the initiative and made a new one for her. She said she really liked it. So without further ado, I'm just going to pull off the chat here, pull this off so we can hide this. Without further ado, everyone, I'd love for you to check out BJ's advertisement for her book that she has written. It is called Josiah Wolf, and here we go. In a world where legends stalk the shadows, one dogman's story rises above the rest. His name is Josiah Wolf, a creature born of brutality, haunted by nightmares, and driven by a mysterious calling. This is a tale of survival, vengeance, and revelation. Step into the world of the Dogman, if you dare.
That was awesome. I'm reading it right now, by the way.
Yes, excellent.
Yes.
What do you have to say about it? What do you have to say? What is
I'm in the first part of it. It's, and BJ will tell you that as well. It starts out a little slowly, but as BJ will tell you, it's going to start to really get into an exciting, and that's where I'm starting to come into it. So I'm super stoked about that.
Fantastic. So, BJ, if do you want to put up the link for Matt for his, and I'm assuming that's for your trip, right, Matt?
Let me see.
Ancient Ruby, was that for Matt's
No,
trip?
she wanted the link to my channel.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so it'll so first of all, it'll be in this chat, but it'll also
BJ will
all of Matt's links will be in the show notes. I've already put them in there. If I'm missing any, let me know, Matt. But I think I got them all. I just copy and paste it from the previous ones. I'm like, but I had a terrible, traumatizing werewolf dogman encounter in 1975. Have never recovered. It is hard for me to still talk about it. So, Ancient Ruby, we either myself or Matt would love to hear you. You know, if you want to come on the show, or Matt's show, or both, doesn't matter. We'd love for you if you want to talk about it. Sometimes talking about it does help, and to know that there's other people out there, especially Matt. Matt has had one of the most terrifying stories I've ever heard of the dogman type. So Matt would be a good person to talk to as well. But on that note, I sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say real quick, if you'd like, you can, if you're on Facebook, you can reach out to me personally, and I'll talk to you. I always throw this out to people that have had experiences, you know, people that might not want to, you know, immediately go and do a show or not at all, you know, because of what happened to me when I was, 14. And Josh, I love it. I can't wait for you too. And, you know, and I'm not saying this to like pound my chest. I just happen to have one of the most well-known dogman experiences, real ones that's in the world. It just is that. And I have learned a lot.
Matt, you're underselling it. Not that you've had one of the most like terrifying, in my opinion. I'll add this.
I
one of the
leave
most
that
terrifying
to you guys for it.
dogman experiences. Yeah.
It was not a good thing, and I deal with it now. But I would love to talk to you, and Rye will talk to you if you want to talk to Rye too. I just, if I can at least, and I have helped somebody to, you know, deal with what happened to them, that means the most to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Ruby, if you don't want to, don't force yourself. It's not like we're like pressuring you. Neither of us are. You know, there might come a time when you do feel like, yeah, I want to get this out. Great. Either of us would be here, or Matt will be here. You know, he's had that experience. But if you don't want to, and you just here for the community that believes you, we're here.
Yeah, I never
think that's
judge anybody.
Sorry. I keep saying, I'm like, and that's it, and we're done. And that's it, and we're done. But we just keep going. We keep going, which is fine. Which is no, because we just we're talking with the chat is kind of going really good, but I'm getting tired. So Matt,
I got to go to a meeting actually. So
okay, all right. So I think we are done. So Matt, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's always a blast being with you, brother. I love you, man. You're family to me, and everybody that came by tonight, have a blast with you guys. Thanks for coming and supporting Rye.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, Ruby, Ancient Ruby, we are not Vic Cundiff. Like I'll put that one out there. Matt or myself, more than open to hear your encounter. Maybe both of us, you know, we could have you on. We could both do a double interview or something like that. Whatever, if you feel comfortable. If you don't, that's great. I've done a lot of other interviews where I've had people with aliases or blanked out their faces as well. I do have one coming up where a gentleman in the UK, actually, Ancient Ruby, he is a crop circle maker. He needs his identity kept secret because he could be, there could be criminal charges or he could be sued. But that interview is extremely interesting because it's not what you think. When he told me I make crop circles, I'm like, oh, he's a hoaxer. And I don't like hoaxers, but it's so much more than that. It is so much more. It's not what you think. It's extremely interesting. So with that, guys, Logan, Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you to Matt. Thank you to BJ for being in the mod. Thank you for Matt as well for joining me. Josh, Carol, BJ, Logan, Ruby, Tim, Josh, I said, Fox, Jess, Tammy, Kel, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll try to do some more lives, I promise. And until next time, everyone, this is me signing off. Keep your curiosity wandering, keep the light lit, and always find your way home.
Beneath the stars where shadows grow, the Nephilim's echoes whisper low. Bigfoot roams through the forest deep, and Dogman prowls where the brave won't sleep. Across lost history we wonder why, seeking the truth that time tried to hide. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always find your way back home. UFOs streak through the velvet skies, aliens watch with unblinking eyes. The paranormal hums where silence breaks, in the void of secrets a lantern wakes. Through hidden realms and stories untold, the Codex flame is a light to hold. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always find your way back home. UFOs streak through the velvet skies, aliens watch with unblinking eyes. The paranormal hums where silence breaks, in the void of secrets a lantern wakes. Through hidden realms and stories untold, the Codex flame is a light to hold. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always find your way back home. Legends rise from the Earth's deep core, a lost legacy we can't ignore. With every step, the veil grows thin, revealing worlds where the strange begins. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always